Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Wednesday show. I am your host for the evening, One-Time Hammer, along with my co-hosts, Jen T. Maxey. Say hello.
Hello.
And Terry Diamantis.
Hello.
And we have a special guest tonight, one-time host, long-time minion, Mr. Adam. Hello.
Hello.
So, second time in a row where we're doing 4 people, and everything is working.
Yes.
I know.
Let's find out. Chat, can you hear us?
There's always the possibility that something is not working. Chat will come through and tell us what's going on. In the meantime, let's go over our topics for the evening. Go West is actually a discussion about Omicron and what's happening with Australia, West Australia. Omicron's already been in East Australia, but now it's making its way over to where Far lives. And New Zealand is also getting a bunch of new cases because Omicron's making its way in there. Team TERF is a quick description. I'm not sure if we're going to get into too much on this, but the issue with J.K. Rowling and Emma Watson at the BAFTA, Bering did a video on it, so I was like, I had planned to talk about it, but Bering did a video, so I don't know if we're going to talk about it. And then protecting the sun, because we must protect the sun. America has decided to get rid of Eastern Standard Time and just go with one time system instead of going back and forth, fall back, spring forward. That's all gone. The daylight savings time is going to be
I am
the default.
glad to hear that because I was ambushed by American Daylight Savings when Quippers United started an hour early, and it's like, hang on, what?
Yeah, and then.
No one told me.
Yeah, and then we may get into a discussion about Marvel's latest blockbuster, No Way Home, which is actually No Way Home, the new Spider-Man movie. So those are the topics for tonight. But let's get to everybody. Terry, how you been?
Oh, yeah, not bad. I rediscovered a game called Smash Up, so I've been watching a lot of YouTube videos about people just talking about it, analyzing the different factions, and just that's been my recent obsession for the last day or so.
Gotcha. Terry, Jen, how you doing?
I'm doing very well.
I'm looking at Terry's icon and trying to say your name. Didn't work. How you been?
Very well. Still got my job. Doing a lot of streams with the Blind Musketeers. I did one earlier for a birthday stream for a couple of friends, and that was fun. And I tried to do it like half roasty, half just enjoying spending time with people, and they had fun. So and now I'm here.
How's Blind Girl doing? She was our guest last week. How's she doing?
Oh, so she's doing really well. She had a lot of fun on the stream. She had to do a lot with Jack this week because the pools opened up.
Oh.
Yeah, she's allowed to take him to the wading pool, and that was okay with her. It's just she had a little bit of autism is not fun. Autism is not fun. So yeah, he had a little bit of a breakdown going to the pool because the elevator wasn't working.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So,
let's get to our guest, Adam. How you been?
Mr. Adam, how you doing?
I've been doing pretty good. I don't have kind of shitty that I'm just a minion, so I can't really be like, oh well, I was doing this show.
Yeah, but you've been a long time minion. You've been a minion for like what years now, right?
Yeah, don't remind me.
You can
come on.
For other minion streams, there's nothing wrong about shilling for other minion streams.
Yeah.
Oh well,
we do it every night.
Right.
Yeah, well, that's true.
Like you hang out with Quiz, you hang out with Della, you hang out with Sanguine. I haven't talked to Sanguine in ages. How's Sanguine doing?
He's probably cooking something.
I know, right? Probably delicious and full of onions.
He should just name his stream the foodie stream, and just get it over with.
Yeah.
Well, I like hanging out with Quiz on Mondays and shooting the shit with Sanguine on Friday. So it was always fun. but it's fun to be here on a Wednesday. So I was looking forward to this for a while.
Yeah, we promo all the other shows. I guess it's kind of a founder thing, but I promo all the shows at the end of this show every week, just to make sure that people know about all the other shows and who's running the shows and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, there's no problem with certainly not shilling other Minion shows on a Minion show. That's beautiful. Anyway.
Well, that's one thing I like about it too, is that the personalities are all different for each night. So
Yeah.
you know, especially with what the topics are. I remember I had a buddy was going to come in and watch because I was going to talk about something with gaming, and it was on a Friday night. We never got to it because it's Friday night, and we we go kind of crazy on those nights. But Monday night, we tend to focus on games. So yeah, that's where we go. And tonight we're very serious and professional. So I'm wearing pants right now. Very uncomfortable.
Yeah, I mean, show autonomy is a thing that the Minions promote all the time. So everyone has their own show, even though it's all under the Minions umbrella. So everybody does it a little bit different. I get a really big kick out of the Thursday night show with Johnny Hellcat. I like watching his show. It's a great show. So yeah, but so let's get into the nudes. First on the list is always going to be Omicron, because I'm trying to get the stream taken down for another week. What would it be if I didn't talk about Omicron? And I actually got on Discord today, and for something other than letting Jen know what the show notes were, I actually got on Discord to actually talk to somebody. And what I wanted to do is track down one of our favorite artists in the Minions group, Far, because she lives in West Australia, which is just now starting to see the impact of Omicron, because all of the attack of Omicron was all on the East Coast. Sydney, I mean, Terry can tell you better than anybody here that the East Coast has been dealing with this for a while, but the West Coast has been kind of separated, and it's just starting to hit over there. So
there's a giant desert in the middle of the country.
Well, yeah,
so.
yeah. Omicron can't travel across the desert, apparently, at least not very well. So I wanted to get in touch with her and just say, how are you doing? All that kind of stuff. But she wasn't on Discord when I checked. So I might send her a DM later just because I'm concerned. But yeah, I was watching Dr. John Campbell's stream, and he was talking about how Omicron is hitting New Zealand and cases are skyrocketing over there. But the great thing is, yeah,
they deserve it for being New Zealand.
The deal here is that cases are skyrocketing, but serious hospitalizations and deaths are not, because that's the nature.
Omicron is mild. That's
the nature of Omicron, is that it just doesn't have that deadly impact that Delta did.
Apparently, there's apparently a new variant. I don't know what it's called, Delta Crom or some stupid thing like that.
There's
they're trying to.
Omicron B1 and B2 and then B2 plus, I think, is a new one.
Okay, because the Lotus Eaters mentioned Delta Crom, which I don't know if they were being facetious. They may have been, but
there was some rumor about that, but I just don't know if it's true, to be honest with you.
Hold on, I think it was a Lotus Eaters video, because I think I saw it too, where they were talking about a new Godzilla strain type thing. I think they were joking on that part, but they were saying that there's a new strain coming out, and it's like, wait, there is? I thought we were supposed to be focused on Ukraine. I don't know.
Yeah, I have to kind of, looking at all the places where I'm getting information from, the only place that I can feel safe getting information from is Campbell. He's really got his finger. He's a doctor. And a nurse. He's got his finger on the trigger from all this kind of stuff. He's perusing peer-reviewed medical journals daily. He put out 2 streams today on the topic. So I mean, like, to say that he's not on top of it, he's like the definitive resource we should have had instead of Fauci. He's a guy who really is bipartisan and has nothing to do with either side, but is just giving you the straight up data as the reports come in from peer-reviewed articles. It's impossible to argue with him.
The droplets.
Yeah, and he's never mentioned anything about Delta Omicron in any of his streams. So I don't know. It's the Lotus Eaters. That's Sargon. Is that who that is?
Yeah.
And who else is?
So Sargon started it, but he's brought on a whole bunch of other hosts.
Mm-hmm.
So there's like Callum, Harry, John, Leo,
George, Paul.
John, Paul, George, Ringo.
There's a bunch of.
Do we know these people? I mean, are any of them doctors or anything like that?
I honestly,
No,
I don't. I think they're just commentators.
Oh.
They're just commentators.
Yeah, I think kind of like they're. Oh man, I don't want to say Sargon's acolytes, but something to that measure. They're learning from him. So it's like,
Leo is actually a stand-up comedian.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
I honestly couldn't tell any of them from the story. I know one guy is
Super
Scottish.
Seducer 2. That's where I first discovered him. He's one of the actors in Super Seducer 2, and then I found out he also does stand-up. And then Frost had sent me a link saying, "Is that the guy from Super Seducer?" And I was like, "Holy shit, yes, it is." And it was a Lotus Eaters link. So it's like, well, I've got to start watching the Lotus Eaters.
Oh, I'm gonna have to start watching Super Seducers.
What is their are they just like news or are they commentary?
Yeah.
Is it still the SJW thing with him or
It's kind of whatever's topical, whatever's in the news.
kind of like what we're doing?
Yeah.
Kinda, but only one of us has an accent here.
We all have accents.
Well, Jen's got her moments because she's from Canada.
Oh
yeah, but
okay,
I also channel TV a lot. You
Like
know,
you
a lot
just
of the times that I'm channeling the Canadian, I'm channeling like Doug and Mike McKenzie.
No,
you know?
just get her to say sorry, and she'll say sorry.
Sorry. Hey.
Sorry about that,
But it's not like America doesn't have we've been over this before. America has plenty of accents too, so and it's just in one country, but it's because we're so big. We should probably say hello to chat. We didn't say hello to chat.
Yeah, I was just doing that and fucking
get away with that. Look, it's Kefki.
Kefki!
Hug.
Pictures.
Cynic, OG Costin, Assassin of the Gray. Notice I did not say assassination. Our goalkeeper dam, Hate Camel. How's it going, buddy? I'm scrolling. I think is that everybody? That's everybody.
Gotta keep on scrolling.
I went all the way back. Oh, Big Dro was here early at the beginning of the stream. I'm not sure if he's still here.
Yeah, he said Jen brought him over.
Oh, very nice. But yeah, so I wanted to get on Discord and just chat with her real quick to see how things were going, because I know the panic that Omicron has had across the rest of the world, and now that it's hitting Western Australia, I don't really know anybody in New Zealand, so I was concerned that if she had it, if she was vaccinated, I have no idea what she was doing. So I was going to try to get in touch with her.
I don't know anyone in New Zealand either. The only Kiwis I know are the ones we used to make fun of, like Michael Rowlands and Tim Blake, who were like part of Christy Winters' little group.
Isn't that most of Australia though? All they do is make fun of New Zealand. Pretty much.
I just love that they still haven't forgiven us for the underarm bowling incident in 1980. That is amazing to me.
You're going to have to explain that to an American, because I have no idea.
Yeah, what the fuck is that?
Okay.
How do you underarm bowl?
Well, that's the thing. So normally cricket, you bowl overarm, because that's just like how it's done.
Mm-hmm.
But in the test match between Australia and New Zealand needed to hit the ball out of the park on the full. And so our bowler said to the umpire, "Look, I'm just going to bowl it underarm. Is that within the rules?" And he's like, "Technically, yeah." So okay. So he just rolled it along the ground, and obviously there was no way they could get it out of the park. And it's like this big controversial incident. They changed the rules. You can't bowl underarm anymore. Like they still haven't forgiven us for that, which I think is hilarious.
Does cricket do like balls and strikes kind of deal? Does that?
Sorry, a truck just drove past.
Yeah, I was saying, does cricket do like a balls and strikes kind of thing? Do you have to get it within a certain area to be considered a valid throw or bowl or whatever you call it?
Yeah. So if it's too far to the side, it's called wide, which the ball doesn't count and they get a free point.
Oh, okay.
And there's if when you do the bowling, if your foot goes over the white line, that's a no ball, and it's the same thing. The ball doesn't count, but they get a free point.
I need to learn cricket. I have no idea. So inside is an issue as well as being too wide.
So yeah, so if you bowl it so far to the side that there's no reasonable expectation that they could hit the ball, then that's called a wide.
Okay, regardless of whether it's inside or outside, it's just called wide of the plate kind of deal.
Yeah.
Gotcha. All right. I've never watched. I mean, I've seen, snippets like on intros to like ESPN or something along that lines. You'll see they'll throw in just different sports, and you might see someone taking a whack at using a flat paddle to take a whack at a ball. Cricket, you're like, oh, I know what that is. That's cricket. You might see somebody doing highlight with the big fucking scoops. But I've never actually sat down and watched the game. I watched football. Actually Australian rules football. So I've seen rugby. I've watched rugby games. Not too terribly different.
Which kind of rugby? There's a rugby league and rugby union.
It looked pretty much to me like Australian rules football. They were just carrying a ball around and hitting it out of each other's hands with their fists. And there was a guy in a
which
white
one's league and which one's union? Is that Australian?
What's that?
Is
What's the
Australian
difference?
union? Yeah, what is the difference?
Slightly different rules.
Where are they played at, I should say?
I don't know the specifics because I've never really followed rugby union, but as I understand it, there's slight differences between the rules. I think rugby union is far more popular, but rugby league is the one that I grew up with. My dad and stepdad both watched league, so.
It's funny because Canada plays football basically the same way we do, but they've just changed a couple of the rules, like the depth of the end zone. The Canadian depth is really, really deep, like yards and yards and yards deep compared to ours. And you can actually have somebody in forward motion on a play in Canada where you can't do that in the United States. Basically, it's the same thing. Quarterback, drop by, throw the ball, run the ball, all basically the same. It's just some tweaks are a little bit different. But it's still, extra points, touchdowns, all that stuff's the same. So, yeah. Not sure how we got off into Australian rules football.
Well, you're talking about Australia and New Zealand, and I brought up
and how you guys kind of poke each other all the time.
You guys are going to start a war over some bowling tactic.
Well, things considered, how small they are and how large your continent is. I mean, there's got to be a little bit of Napoleon complex.
The New Zealand Prime Minister actually called the Australian cricket team out. Like, it got to the Prime Minister making an official statement that the Australians were cowards. That's how seriously it was taken.
I'm telling you, like the bucket wars. You took our bucket
over a cricket match.
Fucking bowling.
Anyway,
do we have? Is there any New Zealander minions? Do you know?
Not that I'm aware of.
Don't know any.
Wow.
There's a couple of countries that we don't have represent. We do have a very wide representation of people, not only in geography but culturally in the group. It's pretty amazing that the Minions is such a great group like that. But we don't have anybody in China or Japan. We don't even have anybody in like the non-continental United States. Nobody in Alaska or Hawaii. We have a bunch of people in Australia.
Make Tulsi Gabbard. Make her a minion.
I'll invite her. I'm sure she'll take us up.
Go for it, man.
We have who do we have? I mean, I don't know if you want to consider Austin part of the group or not. I don't know if he considers himself part of the group, but he's kind of a favorite. And then who's Easy is out in the Netherlands, right?
Yeah.
She's still considered a minion. So we
Sam's
do have.
Sam's in France.
We have Samuel out in France. Well, I mean, is he actually in France now, or is he in England?
I thought he was in Canada.
Samuel?
I mean, all I know is that he's French. I don't know where he lives, but I assume
he is French. He speaks with a European London kind of accent. I might be inadvertently saying something bad, but he does have an English, quote unquote, English accent.
He just
So I'm
put
not
his key
sure.
down abruptly.
Yeah, I might have insulted him just now by calling him European. I don't know. But we don't have we have Tailed is out in Scotland, so he's an official minion.
There you go.
So I'm trying to think. We'd have nobody in Wales or Ireland. Yeah, I'm to some extent geographically challenged. I can't name all the places, but we do have a pretty wide group, all things considered, the number of people we have in the group. So
I really like that.
Yeah, and it's one of the best things about our group is that if you have a question about anything, there is somebody who has some experience in it. Just because everybody's such a wide background from everywhere, it's just really amazing. And not only that, but talents. You have people who are cooks. We have the useless cook, and Sanguine, and I'm sure we have others. We have
people who stonework, dude. I mean, shit.
Yeah, I mean, we have artists, yourself, and then we have Kefki does stuff, and Far does stuff, and there's so many people. And quiz painting. I mean, we have musicians.
Like
Deco. Yeah, and so I mean,
Mustafa?
Right? We've got people from all over the place. It's really and we all seem to get along pretty well. I mean, that's and although quite the minefield, ethnic backgrounds are all involved in this too. We got people of all colors and creeds and faiths and all that kind of stuff. So, and political backgrounds too. It's amazing. It really, if you think about it, you still think about the Minions group as a whole. It's amazing. It really is. I keep saying the same thing over and over again, but every time it comes to me in my mind, I'm stunned about. I really am about how everybody
it worked out.
Everybody's, yeah. It's just like you expect people to be at each other's throats on a regular basis, and we're just not. And age too. Look at me. I'm 58. There's people in the group that are older than me, younger than me. I mean, significantly.
Jacob was like 18 when I first met him.
Zelthor.
Jacob's married and has 3 kids now. Holy shit. Man, time flies.
Yeah.
And,
you look at some of the
Zelthor. I never really got to know.
I think when Zelthor joined, he was like 17 or something like that.
Okay.
Oh man, and you know what? You know what the best thing is? We are all friends with this crazy guy named Donkey. Hey, that's not funny. All right, dude. Shut up.
The only thing I know about Zelthor is one of the best Pokemon matches I ever had was against him.
Oh yeah. Wait, did you guys play Pokemon? Which one?
Pokemon Showdown. So Della was doing a stream where I was playing Della, and like Della didn't know what he was doing, so I kind of just won too easily. But then Zelthor was in chat, and he asked if he could play. Like, definitely. And it was down to the final hit. It was like, if my attack had not killed him, I would have died the next turn. It was like that close.
Damn. I thought you never played games with other people.
Sometimes there's no way to play the game without other people. If Pokemon Showdown had an AI that I could play against, then I would have no need to play against other people, but it doesn't.
You have no problems playing PvP one-on-one. So you'll play with another person if you're playing directly against them.
1v1 is the absolute favorite way for me to compete because I don't want to be saddled with teammates.
Well, sir, we still need to set up me, you, and Quiz playing some fighters.
Oh, definitely. I sent him the link. He just never got back to me. He said, no.
What? Are you serious?
Yeah.
Dude, I'm going to go knock on his window and be like, hey, man.
I sent him the link to Null DC and the VPN that we'd need to play it, and he just never replied. Oh, I guess he lost interest, or he forgot, or
he probably
read it and then got distracted and never came back to it. Whatever the case may be, he didn't reply to me.
I'll give him a talking to, or not talking to, like I'm gonna wag my finger or something like that. But maybe this weekend, considering it's St. Patty's Day on tomorrow. Cool. So we'll probably hang out Friday. But Yeah, Hammer. I think we strayed far off the beaten path, sir.
That's okay. We do that all the time.
We do.
I apologize.
No, not at all. The topics that we have for the evening are just more suggestions than anything else. We don't have to cover them. So we start with something, and we usually rattle on to different places and all that kind of stuff. So that's not unusual for us.
Yeah, well, it was like the movie Jumper. You know, we went from here to the Great Pyramids of Giza, and then all
That's
the way to like.
one of my favorite movies too.
Is it really?
It is. What was the girl? What was her name? Oh, jeez.
Honestly, I never saw the movie.
Never saw the movie. There's the girl that's in the movie is really, really pretty. And it also has his mother, the one who plays, he's a jumper, and the people who track them down are called paladins. And one of the paladins is a famous actress who I thought was really cute. But his girlfriend was like a crush for me for a couple of years. In the movie. So it's been one of my favorite movies. Just to be able to have that ability to just jump from place to place, that's got to be the coolest thing in the world.
You know, that's the only the only reason I know about this movie. I mean, besides having seen some of the trailers and whatever when it was first coming out, I used to work with this guy who was really into movies, and that was one of his favorites. And he would constantly talk, dude, oh man, it's like Jumpers. And I'm like, dude, I've never seen it. He's like, oh, you got to see that movie. I'm like, all right, dude, relax. Probably not, but
we should have a movie night for Minions where you guys can like make requests for me and I can just stream them. You guys can watch them.
Dude, like,
hey, Camel says Diane Lane is the mother.
Diane Lane, yeah. She was in a movie called Streets of Fire where she played like this typical masculine roughhouser, and she turns out to be his girlfriend and all that kind of stuff. That's the first place I saw her. I was like, wow, she's gorgeous. I can't remember his name. His name was some typical 80s like Johnny or something like that. She turned out to be his girlfriend. That's the first place I saw her. I was like, she's pretty.
Diane Lane.
And she ended up doing a movie with
was she in The Ring?
Don't know.
I'm trying to like I can't put an image in typical Adam fashion.
She was
I have a laptop right in front of me, but I'm not going to look at it.
She was in a movie with John Cusack called Must Love Dogs.
Must Love Dogs. If
that helps any.
No, not at all.
All right. Well, you guys can talk. I can look up a picture and put it in chat. But
if we're talking like celebrity crushes, when I was young, Catherine Zeta-Jones was one of my first. The movie that I got Hammer to watch, Splitting Heirs. Mm-hmm. I watched that. I saw Catherine Zeta-Jones and said, wow.
And she was young there. Beautiful. I mean, that was like 8 years before the Zorro franchise started.
Yeah.
So she was like 21 or 22.
Thereabouts.
Yeah, so she was like, wow.
And Susan Day, which I mentioned before the stream from the Partridge Family,
right,
was another one. Isla Fisher, of course, is one I always mention.
She's a cutie. Wasn't she in Wedding Crashers? Wasn't Isla Fisher?
She was.
Yeah.
That is the only reason I watched that movie.
I don't know. I kind of like the guy with the broken nose.
Owen Wilson.
What the hell's his name? Owen Wilson, yeah. I can't do a very good Owen Wilson. If you didn't recognize it, I don't blame you.
Oh, no, I did actually.
You did?
All you gotta do is act like you're a little bit stoned.
I thought maybe
a
little bit of Clint Eastwood and a little bit of Stupid mixed together. Mm-hmm. Kind of get you Owen Wilson. It's really hard for me to reach down to Stupid though. You know, that was really tough. Anyway,
I like Owen Wilson. It's just he does do a good stoner.
All you have to do is say wow, and you got Owen Wilson. Wow.
And if you say ka-chow, you're instantly a car.
Who's the guy from?
Hold on, can I make a real quick correction? Thank you, chat, for pointing it out because you guys are super sleuths. It was not Naomi Watts in The Ring.
Oh, she's pretty.
The American version. I don't know, man. I don't know. I can't remember. Put faces to these names, and in the Marley scale.
Yeah, there's
I don't know.
Naomi Watts is a pretty girl. that's kind of the discussion I was having with Lauren Chen. You were mentioning before the show, Terry, that you were in a discussion with Lauren Chen. Is I watched her channel. She has her regular Lauren Chen channel, but she also has a channel called Movieholic. And being a movie guy that I am, obviously I'm going to join and watch what she has to say about movies. And she was talking about the new movie about Theranos and Elizabeth Holmes.
Okay.
And how they got the girl from Clueless to play Elizabeth Holmes. The
Alicia Silverstone?
No, the weather casting girl, the other blonde.
Oh, okay.
You guys know who I'm talking about? Other blonde chick.
I haven't seen Clueless. I only know Alicia Silverstone was the main character.
You're worse than Matt Christensen. You just haven't seen any movies at all. Can't depend on you for any movie references.
Hey,
You're
you know
awful.
what? In all fairness, I'm with Terry and yeah, because I haven't seen any movies either. I'm sitting there, I have no idea.
It's tough
What
to
the hell
talk.
you're talking about.
It's tough to talk movies when none of you guys watch movies. It's making it kind of difficult.
I mean,
on me here.
I have seen a lot of movies. It's just very sort of specific fields.
No, hold on. I was thinking about this earlier today because it was brought up with somebody said something about like Children of the Corn, and I'm like, oh, is that what happens in the movie? And they're like, yeah, sure. And I'm like, well, I haven't seen the movie. And even Quiz was like, you haven't seen any of the Nightmare on Elm Street or fucking Friday the 13th? I'm like, no, just haven't watched any. And I was thinking there, I was like, what the hell have I been watching? Like, what?
Well, I've seen movies. It's just
I've seen movies, but what?
Well, I kind of led you
it's just not the
astray
ones that get brought
because
up.
she's not in Clueless. The girl I'm talking about was in Mean Girls. And
Oh,
it's
dude.
Amanda Seyfried
Whoa,
Oh,
okay.
I know who
is the
that
girl
is.
I'm
I haven't
talking
seen
about.
that movie either.
She's going to play, or she has played, I'm not sure if it's out yet or not, but she's going to play Elizabeth Holmes in the movie Theranos, about Theranos. I think it's going to be called that. In any case, Lauren Chen did a kind of a review of it, and she's like, it wasn't that bad of a movie. I don't know if she got a screener or how she reviewed it, if it's already out or not. I didn't do any deep dive to it, but I said, I don't think Amanda really is a good match for Elizabeth Holmes, because Elizabeth Holmes' face is a lot different. Amanda's face is wide. Her eyes are wide. She has a large mouth. Theranos is very thin. I said, my pick would have been more like Nicole Kidman. And Lauren Chen came back to me and said, yeah, but Nicole Kidman's a lot older. And I was like, oh,
True.
you're right. So there was kind of a little discussion there, but yeah, I was like, at this point, I really have to make it a point to watch the movie to see how well Amanda Seyfried did. Not like she's not a talented actress. I just think she was kind of miscast to not really be someone who looks like.
But when I
Looks like
was
her.
working at the bank, I was really good friends with a guy, Esteban, and he really liked movies, and he was constantly borderline offended at what I hadn't seen. It was like, I'd say he'd mention Star Wars, and I'd say, I think I saw Return of the Jedi as a little kid. I don't remember. He goes, I'm bringing the DVDs in tomorrow. You are going to watch them.
Oh,
Okay.
so you have
And,
he forced you to watch them?
They didn't force me. I watched them willingly, but it's just like, no. I'm
you had a
bringing them
gun,
in.
but-
You're going to watch them.
You didn't have a gun. At least you didn't do that. But so you have seen what, the first three now?
Yeah,
Well, the
the
original
first three
trilogy?
Star Wars movies. Well, I think they're technically 4, 5, and 6 by
Yeah.
the weird ordering.
Yeah.
The ones with Mark Hamill and
Right.
Yeah.
Harrison Ford.
The good
and
ones.
The good ones. You're right. The good ones. Yeah. So you would recognize some of the things like, great kid,
You know
don't
what
get
a Chewbacca
cocky.
was.
Yeah, you know what a Chewbacca was. But you recognize some of the phrases like "great kid, don't get cocky" is one of them, and "No, I am your father."
Well, the father one, of course. I mean, everyone.
I guess
even,
everyone
even if
knows
you
that.
haven't seen Star Wars, you probably know that line.
Yeah. Well, at least you know
What about-
those.
What about the
Yeah.
significance of I have a bad feeling about this?
There's also Never Tell Me the Odds is like something
Oh,
that
yeah.
Ian
Yeah,
Solis
Never-
does a lot.
What do you mean scruffy looking? There's a lot of, if you sit back and think about it, there's an awful
Yeah.
lot of quotable phrases. It's not quite Princess Bride or, something along that
God, no.
lines or like Spaceballs, but there are a lot of quotable quotes in those movies.
See,
so.
now Princess Bride, I've seen that. and I really
There you
like
go.
that movie.
There you go.
That's a good movie.
How about you, Jen? Have you seen all
remember-
the Star Wars stuff? I mean, you have TR Wars in your
Oh,
name.
yeah.
I stopped watching Star Wars after the first prequel came out. Not because the other two weren't that good. I was just like, there's a lot of politics in here, and it became really boring.
Yeah.
And then I watched, I think the one that didn't even have any Jedi in it. I think it was like I can't remember the name of it. But after that, I was just like, this is going full on woke.
Yeah.
This is full on Disney.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
hold on,
I
wait. The one
just
without
washed my
Jedi.
hands and was like, I don't want to financially support you anymore. So I stopped watching.
The one without Jedi, was that starring a girl, or was it the Han Solo one?
The one with the
Rogue
girl.
One?
Yeah.
A Star Wars story. If it says that after the movie title, then you don't want to watch it. Solo, a
I
Star
didn't even
Wars
watch
story.
the prequels. I only watched the very early ones from like the 70s and early 80s.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just stopped wanting to support them. I knew what they were doing, and I've kind of been doing that a lot lately. Like, there's a lot of movies that I would have liked to have watched, but the fact that they keep doing stuff like that, I know it's kind of immature to go on a strike, but yeah, I just don't want to support it.
Yeah.
I'd rather spend my money on something I'd rather enjoy.
I won't buy any of the later Star Wars DVDs or stream them or anything like that where I have to pay for them. If somebody else has a copy, I'll bug them to watch it. That way I'm not giving anything to the franchise. Someone has already paid. I'm not really doing any damage at that point. So I'll do that, but I won't I'm very much the same way. I don't want to contribute. What about Marvel?
Okay, yeah, yet again, another one. I actually do feel a little bit bad for this one because it was mostly just like I said, if I have to choose between spending my money on a movie and on something that I needed, I was financially pinching pennies. So like between choosing on a Marvel movie, which up here can cost you like, if you want to enjoy your movie time, was like $50 to $60. So the last one I saw was probably Thor, which wasn't bad. I would have gone to see other ones
In a theater?
I just heard that after the first Thor, like the rest of the Thor series kind of went. There were other Marvels that I would have gone to see. I just, like I said, I didn't want to spend money at a theater that's that expensive for something that turned out to piss off a lot of people.
What about
like? There's still good movies. Like I've heard from.
What about streaming or Netflix or Amazon or that kind of stuff? Where it's fairly cheap by comparison.
I could have gone that route, but yet again, like I was on a financial problem. So like, I was a little bit iffy about spending money on something like every month. And then also with Netflix and a lot of those sites, like they just pull shit all the time, but also it's like, what content am I wanting to watch? Like when I think about Netflix, the only stuff that I really want to watch on Netflix is coming from Korea. And to be honest, I really kind of wish they'd just set up their own Netflix because fuck Netflix. I resent them a lot for the rules that they've implemented on people. Like I don't know that that's necessarily the cause of everything that's been ruined, but I am never going to forgive them for He-Man.
See, Netflix is weird for me because they'll do Hannah Gatsby and push that, and then they'll turn around and push Dave Chappelle. It's like, and then they'll push Cuties. It's like, wait a minute, where are you on this? Are you just trying to piss everybody off? What's the deal?
I think we earned, kind of could tell, but we gleaned some insight during the He-Man fiasco with Kevin Smith. I think he said it on a podcast, or it was an article, but he was saying how he went in there and he was worried about the negative press that they were getting, and then Netflix was pretty much like, well, we already have their subscription, so they don't care. They're getting their money. That's all they care about,
But you'd think they'd be worried about retention. Like if they put stuff out that pisses everyone off, they'll just cancel their servers.
Well,
Like
the,
me,
the thing is,
I've turned down perfectly good shows because I refuse to forgive them for what they did to He-Man. I know it sounds immature, but I don't care. What they did to He-Man, to me, felt like they just absolutely trashed my childhood.
How much
And
of
then
that was
made
Kevin Smith, and how much of that was
Hmm?
Netflix?
I think both. Both.
yeah, no, well, that and whoever they have orbiting them,
Mhm.
because you got to remember. I mean, like even like Kevin Smith is one guy, and even if he were to have written that entire script, I don't think it would have been that bad.
No, I
Um,
don't think so.
but he has other people that he's working with, and other people who influence said products. So I mean, it's you know he can do what he can, but ultimately he's the name attached to it. Hey, check it out. Kevin Smith is doing a He-Man. Whoa,
hmm
it's Kevin Smith. It's He-Man. What? But so I mean that's. But again, at the end of the day, Netflix is just like, yo, we're getting your money.
I'm surprised it didn't backlash at them a little bit more too, because it's not just that it wasn't just that it was him presenting it. It was also the artists who were drawing it. Like I know
Yeah.
I was super excited because like the art was good.
Wasn't
I
it the
was,
same studio that did the Castlevania?
Mhm. Like
Yeah.
the art was good. And then they made Tila into a big mega bitch. And I was just like like I said, my entire childhood was just like what the hell is this? I don't know what I'm watching. I'd never watched She-Ra either. I had no interest in watching She-Ra because I knew before I even clicked on it that it was trash. And I was like, yeah, I'm not ruining my childhood again. But then I see He-Man and it looks kind of good. It looks like it's well drawn. And I'm like, well, if they don't even have to full on do the same script. Like I get that the old 80s was a little bit cheesy. It was. But then they did that. And I was just like, I never want to look at Netflix again. Like that was so offensive.
For me, Cuties was the line. They,
Well, that was
they did
gross.
Cuties. Like, I'm never going to subscribe to Netflix again.
Yeah. Well, and here's how I think. Because Hammer, I think you asked this question. Maybe I misheard it. But how are they still, around with all of this going on? And I think the way that they do it is because they're everywhere. So you want to catch that Dave Chappelle special, you're going to have the subscription, even though you don't approve of Cuties. You want to go and check out Cobra Kai.
Mhm.
Well, you're going to have to still pay for the Kevin Smith He-Man. Like either way, even if you don't watch it, they're still going to get the money out of you. And I think that's how. And also,
Not out of me, they won't.
well, yeah, I don't pay for it. I don't think I can't remember the last time I've seen a Netflix thing. But even on outside that, like you see all the other subscription services coming up, and it still hasn't made a dent in their productivity. So I mean, who knows? Who knows what will take these fuckers down?
Are people willing to overlook the things they don't like so they can get the things that they do like?
I think so.
I think it depends, because it depends why they don't like it. If it's just, this is a bad show, I mean, there were plenty of bad movies on Netflix. I just didn't watch them.
Yeah.
If it's, this offends me, then they've got more of a problem, because like I will not subscribe to Netflix purely on the back of them having Cuties. Whereas if it was just a bad movie, then like I just won't watch it. But this movie is like, it bothered me that they would support this. So that was a line that I was not willing to cross.
Yeah.
It's like, nope, I'm done with Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, maybe it's me, but
I actually kind of think that Adam is onto something with that though, because I noticed that other companies have kind of gone the same route. It's just not as extreme as with Netflix, because Netflix isn't specifically one genre. Like they do family, they do more serious stuff, they do horror. But like even Disney in a certain way has, like they go to such extremes with some of their topics. Like Encanto, as an example, wasn't a bad one. it wasn't exciting. Like, it's not an adventure story. But as far as a story about a family dynamic that's a little bit toxic and how you kind of work through it, it's actually a decent movie. It's annoying as fuck if you're a parent, because Disney is amazing like that. But then you get the Red Panda one, and I'm just like, everything about this movie is kind of gross. Everything. And they sucker in kids with a cute panda. Like they basically if ever there was a moment where low-key Disney is being racist, they're kind of doing it with the mom. Yeah. They kind of,
I think I've heard something about that.
yeah. So the mom is like the worst kind of tiger mom you could get from a Chinese mother. She's so much of that stereotype of the tiger mom.
Hold on, what is a tiger mom?
Okay, so like not just like never letting you have a life, like they've completely scheduled your life to the T, like to the moment that you're sleeping, to the moment you get up, you're brushing your teeth, you're eating your breakfast, you're studying, and then you're going to be doing this and this and this and this. A tiger mom is on you about absolutely freaking everything.
Basically runs your life.
Yes, it's meant to control of that parent is all about the idea that their child's outcome is going to be good. And it takes it so far that it stifles the child. It's actually considered to be a form of child abuse, because if you're stifling your child too much, they get boxed in. You know, it's not a healthy situation. But they did that with this Chinese mom to the point where she's almost a psych. Like, she is a psycho. She is absolutely a psycho in this movie.
That she use a wire hanger?
Mm-hmm. And then it's...
Wait, she does?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, shit. I was just joking.
And then also they have the girls lying to their parents and then sneaking out behind their backs. And it's also that they can go to a concert so they can chase boys, you know, like, because the girl turns into a panda every time she's a little bit excited. That's because she's going through the change. And it's just, it's actually not a very good movie. I wouldn't bring my child to it, because for one thing, I would consider it racist. Like, I know that the Chinese community, like in terms of their culture, like they are very hard on their kids. They motivate and push their kids to do better. And sometimes you get the odd parent who takes it too far. White people do it too. Everybody does it. Everybody's got a copter parent. But what they presented in that movie, I was just like, how can you sit there and be like, oh, we're about inclusivity and all this other kind of garbage, and then you present something like that? And I'm like, yeah, I do believe that they would film stuff with slaves in the background. Yeah, I do. Concentration camps and all. Disney is a trash company. They'll sucker you in with a good movie, and then they'll pull you in with garbage that's got like hidden messages where you're like, what the fuck? What the fuck?
So, Jen,
yes.
Where shall I ship this tinfoil hat to?
Mm.
I've got plenty. Don't worry.
No, I mean that. I say this as somebody who hangs out with Blind Girl, and Blind Girl has an 8-year-old son who has low functioning autism, so he can't speak. You know, all he can really do is watch certain things. It's kind of, you know, he's kind of in a cycle of routine and things like that. Disney is so geared towards catching the attention of a child. Honestly, I'm grateful for the fact that he can't pick up on any of this stuff that he's learning from them. You know, because he can't understand the concept of what they're talking about. But a lot of the stuff that you talk, what they say in those movies, if you sat down and you listen to what they're talking about, they're very adult conversations spoken to children.
Yeah,
it's not a conspiracy. You can sit there and pull one up and watch it and like actually think about it. This isn't The Lion King, you know? Like, The Lion King was a little bit mature, yeah, because it was based off Macbeth. But this stuff is kind of creepy.
I haven't seen any of the new ones. I know my niece kind of likes that new the panda one that you're talking about.
Yeah, because it's cute.
Yeah, I hope that's yeah, I'm sure she doesn't understand. She's only 4.
It's cute. She's 4. She might not understand it, but like if you sat down and watched it with her and actually like paid attention to what they're talking about, it's kind of fucked up.
Yeah, I only saw a few articles about the mom, and then its supposed metaphor, or like she's when she turns into this thing, what it's supposed to mean or whatever. But
She's going through puberty.
I always look at you get all the information and then you suss out what connects, and where the kind of truth lies. And yeah, I get what you're saying, but that's what I mean when I say it's funny that I'm gonna give you a tinfoil hat, because it's like, dude, it's kind of getting obvious at this point that there's a lot of shit that's going on that they're not really hiding it anymore. They're just kind of doing it. So I mean, but hey, I've been enjoying this movie for a bit. Welcome to the show.
Well, it's just it. Like I was okay with it being about becoming an adult film, because that's always a common theme in a lot of their movies.
That makes sense. Yeah.
That's gonna happen, and a lot of the kids who are watching their films are literally that age. But then they do that, and I'm just like, oh, okay, so you're teaching your kids to not only distrust their parents, don't listen to your parents, disobey your parents, do illegal shit, and that's okay because your mom might be a little bit psycho.
I also did see one article about the person was upset that the girl and her friend weren't girlfriends.
Yeah,
they were really, so I saw that too. I don't really jump into these things because I don't want to read paragraphs of bullshit, and it's from all sides, because they fill it. So being realistic, they could put their idea, their concept in like 1 or 2 sentence structures, but instead they have to inflate it, to fill the web page, get the clicks. It's their job. I get it. I don't want to waste my time on it. Having said that, but seeing a lot of it, it's like, oh shit, this movie's causing an alarm.
Hey, well, on that note, and it's only funny because you mentioned that, Mr. Adam, but over the last couple of days, and I only know this because of Mr. Ripa. Thank you, Mr. Ripa. He's kind of fun. Yeah, the weirdos out of the LGBT community are protesting Disney because they want them to be on their agenda. So they're like, yeah, you keep hinting at these gay couples, but you've never actually put out.
Oh shit! Oh wait, you talking about Young Ripa?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I saw his video on the demands.
Yeah.
But you know what? Even before what we were talking about before, he said it best.
Mm-hmm.
If you see a big company, take a property and that they're going to use, that, hey, we're going to make this new blah, 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 consider it dead already.
Yeah.
Because that they're just that they already have their ideas. They're just using the brand. Mm-hmm. And yeah, it's 100% true. I believe, right on, dude.
I have to confess about something. I watched that stream that he did with Lucas, the amazing Lucas. And I confess, I kept trying to tell Lucas that he was arguing with a black man, forgetting who Mr. Lucas was. But then I thought about it. It was like, you know what? In hindsight, I stand by that, Mr. Lucas, the amazing Lucas. I just got to tell you, you're not going to win against another black guy who's a conservative. Do you know why? Because he's never donated to you. The reason he's on a warpath, the reason he's so mad at Mr. Ripper, the reason he thinks that all the white conservatives are supporting him and stuff is because, he does have a good chunk of white, supporters. He does. But here's the thing. Those same supporters were supporting Mr. Lucas until they found out he was just a grifter taking their money because he was anti-Trump the entire time. Who
is the amazing Lucas? Wait, when did this stream happen?
That happened, I think about a week. It's about a week now. So a bunch of the
wait, is that the one where he was arguing with the
yes, the group
town dude?
Yes, it's a follow up from them because he's There's a couple of them who are going after him because they think that the reason his channel is so big is because white people support them or him.
Yeah, no, yeah, I know.
And
Yeah, I saw the whole.
and I
bullshit.
just laugh at it every time. And I'm like, how do you know how many white people support you? Just simply because supporting you makes them think that they get a black card.
Yeah.
I hate to break
Oh,
it to you. The
man.
reason I support Young Ripa isn't because he's a black man. It's because he actually knows a shit ton about comics. I actually respect his knowledge on comics. He's actually like, I don't know a lot. I do know a lot of friends who like comics. So I got a little bit interested in them because they like comics. So I liked listening to him talk about it because he has a different perspective than other people. I found it refreshing. I also know for a fact that he's never been about Trump because he doesn't talk about Trump. He calls Trump people crackers too, for the record. I've heard him do it.
I
It's
think
funny
he
as
kind
shit.
of wants the entire government abolished, doesn't he?
He does. He's a libertarian. I also listen to him because he talks about the
That doesn't make sense.
vaccinations.
Libertarians don't want the government.
No, he's
Anarchist
pretty,
wants.
yeah, he's kind of in between that because he doesn't like a lot of government. He likes a very, very small, if any, government.
So conservative.
Yeah. Well, I guess you could say that. I don't know if he calls himself that.
He is also really about the person being about the person.
Yeah.
So I think maybe that's where the libertarian part comes from. But with him, it was just like I said, it's just a breath of fresh air for somebody to speak their mind and just say what they actually mean, you know? And whether he's a conservative or liberal, because to be honest, those lines have been blurred for the last like a long time.
Yeah.
You know, it was nice to get a breath of fresh air from a different conservative, but here or libertarian. Here's the thing though, like I said, these guys are really just mad because they were also pulling that same grift, or at least the grift that they're trying to claim that he's pulling. Here's the thing, like I said, he's always spoken his mind. I've always known that he wasn't really necessarily for Trump. You know, he's never been for Hillary. He's never been for Biden. I don't even know who he was for because he never once spoke about who he was going to vote for. These guys are bringing politics to his yard because they lost their politics. They did. And the amazing Lucas only really grabbed that because he was hustling the Vic Mignogna fans. Like that guy was kissing ass to the voice actor for Goku. You know, and he was like, I'm on Vic's side, but he was kissing his ass. Like, bro, I know what you are. And you're just a dude who wants to make money on YouTube, and that's fine. Just do that. You'd make more money. But yeah, sorry. My rant is over.
But speaking about Marvel films, Terry said that he saw one Marvel film and gave up on the entire franchise.
Yeah.
Which movie did you see that
killed it for you?
Remember when we were doing the movie streams with Tartanist and your pick for the movie was the first Iron Man?
Oh dear.
Right.
And my reasoning was everyone tells me that the first Iron Man is like one of the really, really good ones. So if I didn't like one of the really, really good ones, what's the point in watching any of the others?
Hold on. Who told you it was one? It was an okay. It was okay. And then based on the other comic book movies at the time, leading up to it, it was a hell of a lot better. But it was okay. I mean, honestly, yeah, the whole last scene where it's just a bigger Iron Man, that was horse shit. That was the worst villain ever.
Monkey was always telling a story like how much he loved it. Hammer liked it enough to pick it for movie night. The general consensus seemed to be this is like one of the really good ones, and I didn't like it. So I figured, well, I'm not going to watch the rest. It's like, what's the point? I'm not going to like it.
I can't say it because honest. Oh shit. It's 9 o'clock. I can't say for everybody, but I think with Marvel, the Marvel movies, or at least with the universe that came around now, before the new stuff. What was it, Phase 3 or whatever the fuck it is?
Mhm.
Outside of the Avengers movies, because those are good. I really do like the Captain America series, especially fucking Winter Soldier. That movie is fucking badass. Just how it all plays out. It's if you're gonna try and jump back in, check that one out. The first one's okay, but it's kind of campy. The second one's pretty good.
I think Terry would like Winter Soldier a lot more than Iron Man because it comes from a completely different perspective. It's not.
Oh hell yeah!
It's not your typical hero movie, superhero movie. It's a much different flavor to it. That's the funny thing about these is as you move from character to character, the movies change in their perspective. A Spider-Man movie is not like anything else in the franchise. You know, same thing with Captain America. His movies are notably different. The only thing close would be Civil War. Civil War is kind of an Avengers movie because there's a lot of Avengers in it.
Well, isn't it technically Captain America 3?
It is, but if you look at the content,
oh man, see, and that's a great one too. Only because the villain is fucking. Oh man, I love the. Oh shit, he is. I wish they did because I didn't see it. I saw Scribe's reviews on it, but I still want to see it. Winter Soldier and the Falcon, or Falcon Winter Soldier. I want to see it because I wanted to see Baron Zemo, but apparently he doesn't really do too much. He just at most he dances.
The television series, Falcon.
Disney Plus or something like that.
Yeah.
That's the only reason why I want to see it. But when when he was describing what he does, I was like, gosh, dude, that sounds like shit. You know, like he was so cool in the movie. Oh man, he was such a great villain in that movie.
A great movie has to have a great villain. So yeah.
True.
But none of you have seen No Way Home yet, right?
I have not.
No.
I so want to see it though. I've seen so many cool things about it.
Jen, have you seen it?
Nope.
Nope. I'm the only person who's seen this movie. You got to be kidding me.
Sorry.
I am the movie guy. I guess
You're the worldly guy.
I am the movie guy.
Movie guru.
I know what happens in it because I've pretty much read synopsis.
Yeah. No
People
spoilers.
told me.
Don't ruin it for the audience.
I'm not gonna spoil it. I'm just saying, like, me personally, even knowing that, it still makes me want to see. Oh man, it sounds so cool.
I'll tell you one thing about the movie that won't spoil it for you. It is not like any other Spider-Man movie. Did you see Infinity War or Endgame? The Avengers movies?
You talking to me or Jen? I've seen them all. I've seen all of them. So
okay. Well, you know how Infinity War and Endgame were very emotional movies. I mean,
yeah,
it was intentionally built in. We're not having any spoilers by saying that Tony Stark dies, and it's a very poignant part of the movie. No Way Home is every bit that. It's a huge roller coaster. You'll be laughing and crying within seconds. You'll laugh at something, and then you'll be crying, and then you'll be laughing, and then you'll be crying, like within 2 minutes. I think I put that in my review of it, is that it's a very emotional movie. It will definitely hit home for you.
Holy shit. Hold on. Real quick in chat.
There's Jack. Hey, Jack.
12 Angry Men. I fucking love that movie, and I watched it twice in this past month because it's on free YouTube videos.
Baseball movie? 12 Angry Men? Yes, no?
What?
No,
Baseball.
Was it?
It's a courtroom drama.
Oh, I'm thinking of 10th Man Out. Never mind. Different movie.
If I'm thinking of the right movie, there's like one dissenter who doesn't want to vote guilty on a crime, and he slowly wins over the rest of the jury to see that there is in fact reasonable doubt.
I think. Okay, hold on. First off, I think there was a movie that was made in like the 50s about it because it's based off a book. I think.
It's a remake.
And then there was a remake, I think, made in the late 80s, early 90s, and it had like Tony Danza and the guy from Batteries Not Included. I don't. Dude, see, my webbing of movies is not as as connected as yours. But oh man, shit, yeah, that movie was awesome. And yeah, there was one guy who just did not want to, because I think they wanted to imply it was based off of, his own relationship with his son. But yeah, fucking 12 Angry Men. Good job, Clippers United. um, but back to the movies. There's one thing that I can say about No Way Home without spoiling anything. Or actually, a question I can ask. Um, do you think it opens up uh, the multiverse easy, or do you think, like, is that supposed to be where the next setup is, right? Because that's where Scarlet Witch was going, and Doctor Strange is supposed to be going there.
Doctor Strange. What's the new movie going to be with him? Something about the multiverse, right?
Yeah, multiverse something.
Yeah,
Doctor
Multiverse of
Strange.
Madness or something. I can't remember what it was
Yeah.
called. You do see how at the end of every Marvel movie they kind of promo the next movie in the line. You'll see something like the Avengers will be back in the next movie or something like that, and they'll do like a little 2-minute,
Drama.
a little 2-minute intro to what the next movie. They do like a minute and a half of the next Stephen Strange movie at the end of the movie. So yeah, it definitely is a lead-in.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I'd like to see where they go with this. I'm surprised because I think they showed a trailer for Miss Marvel. And that's a Disney Plus TV show.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember seeing some people talking about how it's like, oh man, how are they showing this trailer before Thor: Love and Thunder trailer? And I completely forgot that movie was coming out. But yeah, I guess they changed Miss Marvel's powers too. She has like Green Lantern powers.
Oh yeah, of course she does.
Yeah,
I will say
and
that Stephen Strange plays a large part of the movie for Spider-Man. He's in it the entire movie, basically.
The entire movie?
Yeah, pretty much. Like after about the first 10 minutes, you'll see him. So he's there.
No, because now that I'm thinking about it, it makes sense because, I can't say.
Do none of the authors nowadays have the ability to like just create something of their own? Like a superpower, even?
Nope.
No.
Nope.
I don't understand the question.
Wait, yeah, what was that?
Well, it's just they have to give her somebody else's superpower. They can't just they can't find somebody creative enough to make her own superpower.
Who, Kamala Khan?
Yeah.
Well, in the comic, she had like Mr. Fantastic's power. She can extend arms, stretch and grow, but she only really used like her fists. So now they gave her bracelets that look like, and she can make apparitions, like force stuff.
I feel bad for this character right now. I just do. Like, I'm sorry, character that I'm never going to read a story about, because I feel like whoever created you had no love for you because they couldn't be bothered with creating anything for you on their own.
Well, the entire Marvel universe basically follows the books to some extent. So technically, they've already created all of these original characters. They're just portraying them in movies now. So it's not like they could deviate sufficiently or significantly from the comic books, because that would make it a non-canon kind of deal. It'd be like taking the Force out of Star Wars. It's intrinsic to the entire story that they're portraying. So they can't futz with things too much. Even Marvel does a little bit, because the first Electro is not like the second Electro. It's the first Sandman is not like there's differences. They're not dramatic. The character basically is the same, but they do manipulate a little bit so that they can portray it on film. So,
hold on. Is the actor who plays Sandman in No Way Home the same guy who played him in Sam Raimi's?
Yes.
Awesome. That's fucking
Low
awesome.
from Wings? That guy?
Yeah.
Yep, it's the same guy. Same person. Jamie Foxx, same person. Andrew Garfield, same person. I mean, all the actors that they brought back are exactly the same people.
Did they manage to sneak in Bruce Campbell in there?
The what?
Did they manage to sneak Bruce Campbell in there?
Bruce Campbell, is that the lizard?
No, what? No, he was in
Bruce
the Sam
Campbell.
Raimi movies, but he was just background character. He's Bruce Campbell.
Don't know who he is.
You're a movie guy and you don't know who Bruce Campbell is?
No
Sir.
idea. Is he the guy from The Living Dead or something like that? The guy with the shotgun? Is that the person you're talking about?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah,
The guy with the chin.
yeah. I know who that guy is, but I don't remember him being in the Sam Raimi movies. He must have been a
He
background
was-
character of.
He was he was like the guy who gave Peter the ticket or entry to the wrestling match, and then he was the guy who gave Peter trouble for getting into the show late or some shit. He was but he worked with Sam Raimi with Evil Dead.
Gotcha. Yeah, Evil Dead. That was what I was thinking of. Yeah, I know who the character is, but I guess it wasn't a big enough character for me to pay any attention to it. I was looking at the main story, not watching the other people.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
was just thinking.
Yeah,
if
he's
they,
not
they
there.
brought all of them back. Oh man, how awesome would that have been? He
But
just pops in. Like,
Even the character who played Dr. Connors, that
Was the same guy?
actor's in this movie. So they got all the
Shit.
people back together. Yeah. So
Hey, did they explain how Electro knew who Peter Parker was?
yes, all your questions are answered in the movie. Watch the movie.
Well,
It answers everything, and you'll actually learn stuff about what happened with the characters from the other two franchises. What happened after those movies ended in this movie?
for real?
I'm just
Yes.
gonna spoil No Way Home. He stays at a friend's place. He couldn't find a way home, so he just dropped in and stayed at a friend's house.
I don't think any of this spoils the movie. We're not actually talking anything about what happens in the movie, but you will find that this kind of picks up the stories of Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man. We pick up what happened after those movies ended in this movie. Same thing for Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man. You see what happened to him, because obviously these characters have aged. You know, so
See, like I kind of understand why they've screwed themselves with the pooch with Miss Marvel. You know, in a kind of way they really have, because when you're like, I need to, we want to make a character that's Muslim. Well, right there, you've got your first problem. It's not because she's Muslim. It's like, well, what Muslim are you going to go for? Because the minute you pick one, you've already offended the rest of the others.
yeah, right.
And that's what I mean, because I feel like, that character is like the laziest character I can ever think of. Because if I think about like Muslims, it's not like they don't have culture and shit. Like if I wanted to create a Muslim character for Marvel, I would just take a Muslim character from Muslim land. It's not like they don't have a history or a culture. Sorry, I know I'm saying it in a way that's kind of rude, but like, yeah, they have history and culture. I could look up a character, maybe not religious, because I know that's kind of a dumb idea, but just pick a person from their culture and like, okay, I'm going to base a character off this person. Look up some like weird shit. Like, I know it's Marvel Universe, so I can't just come up with some superpower, but I'm sure I could think up something that actually kind of makes sense to the character. They're just lazy as fuck. I don't even know how to write, and I understand that a little bit of research and like input to a character and actually like I said, show some affection to a character when you're creating one.
They're not creating it. Marvel television movies are not creating characters. They're taking characters that were already created and just bringing them to the screen. So
yeah, because they're
can't-
lazy.
Well, no, they don't have a choice.
Yeah.
They have to do this. You have to follow canon. If you're gonna move on through the ages and bring in characters that already exist, you can't dramatically change them. You can certainly bring in new characters if you wanted to, but I don't think the audience is looking for that. They're looking for the people that they grew up with, watching, reading comic books for.
Well, that's the problem. I think that's the disconnect, because what they want to do is they want to bring in new characters, but they can't, so they have to take yours.
Well, hold on. I think the problem is they want to go from starting a character all the way to it's a movie, it's a franchise, universe, and that's not how it fucking works.
Exactly.
Captain America was he wasn't a very big character all the way up until I want to say until maybe around 9/11, and then he kind of gained prominence, and then the movies, you know, like, and then that's where he kind of gained a bit of a footing. He wasn't, nobody was sitting there. He was there, you know, like, let's not put it out there, but he wasn't somebody like Spider-Man or Iron Man, you know, like it's that's the whole point. These people they want to jump right in and then just automatically just be elevated to these positions of just everybody wants my character. It doesn't work that way. Um, shit, I hate to bring up Eric July again, but he brought it up again too. Yeah, that's why we got to focus on starting our own shit, building our own shit, because we're going to be the ones that's going to start the next generation of new characters. Because if we and there's a lot of like Ironworks comics. Hold on, I don't want to. You know, I'll find it and I'll say it later. But there's some indie comics that I'm following. You know, indie publishers, and then even Eric July. I think he's publishing his own comic stuff too. That's what we got to do. You know, if we really are serious about this, we're gonna have to start our own gaming industry, our own comic industry, our own fucking review industry, our own commentary. Like that's what we're gonna have to do, because obviously these people they're robots. They're fucking who knows what the fuck they are, you know, like, so it's up to us to do that shit that, you know. And hey, it goes right back to, if you like doing what you're doing, you're not gonna complain. So, you know, you get the people who actually enjoy doing it. They're not going to be sitting there, oh, I need easy mode for my video game because it's too difficult for me. It's like, well, don't you like playing video games, person? Like,
Marvel's
it's a game journalists. No, they don't.
Marvel's in a tough spot though, because if they try to bring somebody new, they say, oh well, you're using the Marvel name as a way to lure in, you know, people to these new characters, and that's a bad thing. Look at the Eternals, if you want any question about how well that went over. But then if they take a movie like Spider-Man, they make billions of dollars. So what do they do? They turn down the billions of dollars to create something new that's probably going to fail because it doesn't have 30 or 40 years of history behind it that's sentimental to everybody who's grown up during that time period. I mean, it's hard to fault them for doing what the audience wants.
Well, hold on. In that aspect, though, they have that mentality. Like, yes, if we put an established character out there, it's going to draw in because people are comfortable with it. The problem is, then they go and they're like, okay, so who are we going to hire for directors and producers and writers? They're going to go for the college people who are all indoctrinated in this ideology. And the movie's not going to go to the money route. Is going to go to, we're going to push some bullshit that now that we have a platform, we can fucking say something.
I can assuage your fears to some respect, because there's none of that in No Way Home. Not an iota.
No, yeah, and that's why I have, because everything that I've been seeing, that's why I'm like, holy fuck, I really want to see this movie.
Actually, they kind of make fun of it. So I mean, it's surprising that they actually kind of made fun of it.
I kind of want to get the I think it's the Blu-ray copy, whatever because they have I want to see the behind the scenes stuff, because apparently they had a lot of fun with the behind the scenes. I really want to see that. I'm really excited about.
There's a lot of improv in this movie too.
Cool. I heard about that. Yeah. Oh shit. I mean, but that's what I mean. Like, but these are people who enjoyed the characters. Especially with like Andrew Garfield. I think he said he really enjoyed being, you know, Peter Parker.
Yeah.
And so getting back into the role was, you know, so it's like you're seeing people who love their craft and they are working at it and producing the best possible product, and it gains it stands the test of time type of stuff, you know, as opposed to this kind of cookie cutter manufactured shit where it's like, I just want you to understand my beliefs and that's it.
As I understand how Discord works, I can stream this to Discord and it's perfectly legal. Anybody heard anything other than that?
Wait, what?
As I understand it, it's perfectly legal for me to stream this to Discord to select people if I want to. Right? Is that true?
I would say no.
No, really? I thought there was some kind of thing about, if you own the movie, it's like having people over to your house virtually. Something like that?
Well,
No?
I don't know, man. To be honest, since we're live, I would say this is
Well,
a
I mean,
discussion better best.
no, I mean, if it's not legal, then it's not legal. But I thought it was.
Well, I don't know. I
I'll have to
figured
check.
I was thinking of what's it called? Was it when they show, this is how old I am, for on the VHSs where they show your copyright, you're not
You're not allowed to
allowed
copy
to
it.
screen it to people.
Oh,
Like
really?
you're not allowed to like, or they tell you they don't want you to like have like a movie night, like you have a whole bunch of people coming into your backyard and you're screening it on a projector type thing, like a
Wow, I didn't know that was
drive-in.
illegal, having your friends over to watch a movie with you. I didn't know that was.
That's what I read it as. I don't know, man.
That sucks.
Like I said, that was from the VHS time, so I'm pretty sure times was. Oh wait, no, hold on. I do remember things where it's like, you wouldn't steal a car, you wouldn't rob grandma,
Yeah.
you wouldn't steal a movie.
Yeah.
So you're
Oh,
making an awful lot
shit.
of assumptions there.
Yeah, dude.
Because the FBI is outside my front door 24/7,
And they were.
and they're worried about me showing a film to my friends. That's what they're worried about.
Oh no, they were, but they were just more concerned about what you're jerking off.
They're just trying to keep you from copyright.
Yeah.
Copy it and giving it out to people. That's definitely a no.
And they wait till you get enough money, and then they're like, "All right, sir, you're doing enough. We're gonna seize your assets."
How you
Sorry, Chick-fil-A head.
how you doing, Jen? You okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Oh yeah, I'm just reading chat. I always do.
The reason I'm asking is it's 20 after. I didn't want to get going too far and have you.
I wouldn't want to go past another like 10 minutes or so, but I can go a little bit longer.
Well, the things we have left to talk about is daylight savings time. I don't know if you guys find that interesting, and we can talk about.
Well, I know it happened, and I know that now that you guys have done it, I don't know what the rest of us are going to do. Probably do
I
the
hope
same.
Australia follows suit and abolishes daylight savings.
Mhm.
I cannot stand the idea. It just fucks with my sleep schedule and accomplishes nothing. I'm pro removal of daylight savings as a concept.
See, like up here. Ooh.
I was going to say, how about you, Adam? What do you think? Have you heard about it?
Yeah, no, I heard about it. I don't know. I really didn't think it was too much of a deal before, but okay. I'm ready for switching back to the Gregorian calendar. So, there you go.
Supposedly, because all of us get on a regular sleep schedule, especially people who have jobs, and have to be at a certain place at a certain time, take my break at a certain time. Everything about their time is very scheduled. Your body gets very used to that. You get your internal clocks expects you to be doing certain things at certain times. And if you have to adjust that for a long period of time off of what you consider normal, your body has to adjust to that. And it has a detrimental effect, according to the medical community. So there is a reason for getting off it. There was a reason at a point in time where daylight savings time was a good thing, back when we were on, buggies and carriages and stuff like that. But now with travel the way that we have it today, it really doesn't serve a function anymore. So they want to move us, well, at least so far it's just the Senate, but they want to move the United States to daylight savings time permanently. So that is it Eastern Standard they want to move us to, or is it daylight that they want to move us to? They want to move us to one of the two permanently. So
I honestly don't even care which one.
Yeah.
Just pick one.
Well, they
stick
want
to it so that I can get used to it.
They want the one where the sun is in the sky later in the evening. That's the one they want to move to. That's daylight. All right. So, yeah, they want to move us all to daylight savings time permanently. Now, I don't know how that would work with people with computers that automatically understand the difference between daylight savings time and not. Are the computers going to have an update? You have to make a patch to Windows?
Yeah.
Probably, yeah.
What about your clock that does it automatically? What about?
I mean, probably have to manually revert the automatic change.
I mean, if we have to, because my car clock is an hour past, so it's like shit. Now I can't wait till.
You're not going to fix it. You're just going to wait for half a year to go by.
Wait for half a year. That's what I mean. Like, I'm so used to it. I'm like, I don't give a shit. It's like, oh man, It's like
See, up
at
here,
night I get out of work and it's super dark, and now the sun's in my eyes as I'm driving home. Like, this fucking- I mean, I guess psychologically it is doing something, and I just don't know it yet. And that's the dastardly cabal shit, But again, tinfoil hats. I'm sorry, Jen, you were saying?
oh no, for us up here, I don't know that it's like Cryptic was saying to us earlier, because we talked about this earlier. It's just I don't know that it's really necessarily going to cause much of a difference. At best, the guys further up north might have to figure stuff out a little bit, just because I don't know that an hour makes that big of a difference. But if you have a lack of sunlight, it kind of does. But honestly, if the only crowd that has it is like a couple cities up north, I don't see the rest of us not doing the exact same thing, because it really is kind of more of a farmer's thing. At best, up here, it really has to do with sunlight. Like, it is actually noticeable that the sun does go down sooner, and it does last for a couple months. But in terms of work, like, if you're in a city, everything's lit anyway, so you can see. Like, we have a problem with light pollution at night, so
I guess it's not the biggest deal for you. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
I don't think so. I just think the guys up north might have to figure something out. Like, I don't really know their situation the same. Like, if I were to speak for the rest of Canada, I wouldn't be able to speak for them, just because if you're living in a province where maybe you have 10 months of winter and it's dark the entire time, I really don't know that the hour makes a difference, but it might.
Right.
That might be that one extra hour that you get sunlight. So, I mean, they might be like, well, we're different. So, yeah. And I'd be like, fair enough.
It's definitely going to impact the people who are dealing with day-night cycles. It's definitely going to be more impact to them, I guess.
Yeah. But honestly, that's a small group of people. And like I said, that's a small group of people. They'd be like, yeah, you guys should do what you need to do. We're doing what we need to do because of,
We already have a state that doesn't observe daylight savings time. Arizona does not change the clocks back or forward.
So rebels.
So we would just be getting in the line with them already.
Well, wouldn't you be permanently 1 hour off from Arizona if they make daylight savings the constant?
My guess is that they would all come to the same place. We'd all end up on one or the other, whatever that ends up being after it goes through the House and the president decides what he's going to do. However it's going to go, I think the entire United States would say, okay, this is what it's going to be.
It would just be funny if, like, the entire United States, except for Arizona, is on daylight savings time. So if you go to Arizona specifically, you have to set your clock back, but otherwise it's fine.
Yeah, I think they would probably fall in line. So I guess we'll see. You guys have anything else you want to bring up before we get out of here? It's 10:30. My voice is starting to lose it.
I think we should make stuff up just to stop Jen from getting to sleep.
Nothing of great importance. All I got to say is that I'm on team J.K. Rowling this time, because, yeah, I'm sorry. Emma Watson would definitely not have the career she has if it wasn't for J.K. Rowling, because she's never not played a role where she wasn't playing Emma Watson. That's what she was employed for. She even says it in one of in Harry Potter videotapes. They do little interviews with the kids afterwards. And she actually said that in the first movie, that the reason they hired her was because her personality reminded them of Hermione. And J.K. Rowling was there when they hired her, because she reminded her of Hermione Granger. And she's never not played a role, including that spoof movie where she was supposed to play herself. She was still Hermione Granger. So no, darling, you might have a job, and that's great. You've done well for yourself, but you owe your success to J.K. Rowling. It's okay to have a disagreement in an opinion, and it's another thing to throw somebody who pretty much was a second mother to you under the bus, which she was. The reason that you're a feminist in the first place is 100% because of J.K. Rowling.
J.K. Rowling did nothing wrong.
No, she didn't. She didn't. She just has a different opinion on how the take is.
And that opinion is not necessarily wrong. It's just her opinion.
No. Yeah.
How can you? I don't understand how you can turn your back on somebody like that. Why can't you just say, well, her opinion is different than mine, and leave it at that? Why do you have to not invite her to any parties and talk bad about her on the BAFTA awards?
Because they're trying to steal her franchise.
But also because they see disagreement as a moral failing. They don't think you're wrong. They think you're evil.
Mm-hmm. They're also trying to steal her franchise.
Sure, but like when you say, you know, there's two genders, they don't hear, oh, this person agrees with me. They hear, this person hates trans people and must be stopped. Like, they legit think any disagreement is you being morally inferior and a bad person.
Well, I'm not sure what to do about that. I mean, we had it on the on the stream to talk about tonight on the show notes, but I think it's kind of an open and shut case. If you're a progressive left-leaning person, you don't care about anybody else when it comes to disagreement. If they disagree with you, I don't care what they've done for me. They're not my politics, therefore they're a bad person. And I simply can't agree with that perspective.
No, it's a stupid perspective, but that's what they think.
And I don't really think J.K. Rowling did anything wrong. She just pointed out the hypocrisy in the wording. You know, when they keep saying stuff like period havers and birthing people and stuff like that, it's a direct insult to women in general from a women's perspective. Jen can, jump in here whenever you want.
Not to mention all the men that are winning women's prizes now.
Yeah.
It's pushing away the people that they claim to want to have on their side, and it's pushing them in a way that's actually attacking them for a physical body part that we can't have having. And the other thing too is the other thing that she's going after is the part of the trans community that is actually dangerous to females. It's not just the fact that they're wanting to go into bathrooms. They're wanting to go into bathrooms with small children, and they're also wanting to prey on lesbians. Like, it's very clear that they're trying to change the wording. And it's like I told Blind Girl on the stream that we did with her. Actually, I did a stream by myself on Monday. It was pretty good. I actually did it. But it was about the fact that part of the attack is the way that they're trying to convince people to have sex with them. Yeah. And a lot of the times where I've seen these TikToks of these trans people trying to explain why what they're doing is, why these women telling them no was them being transphobic and stuff. And the way that they were wording it is exactly my memory of the early 90s, the mid 90s, when men would try to convince lesbians that no, they just hadn't tried the right dick before. It was the exact same conversation. And I was just, we spent 5 years listening to garbage about how we live in a rape culture. And here it is being presented in front of me as though I would ever believe in such a thing. But there it is. And I'm just like, trans people are not like that. I know trans people. We all know trans people. They are not like that. The people who are representing them are the worst people on the planet. And the people they're propping up, the people that Emma Watts are propping up, are in fact putting women at risk. They're actually putting other trans people at risk because these people are in fact predators. You're protecting predators. I have to take my stand on it. Like, I will stand with Eve to the end of my days because she's my friend and she is not in that community. But these people who've taken over are insane. And I stand with J.K. Rowling in that regard because they don't just prey on women, they prey on men too. They prey on children, and they are in every single fucking community right now.
I saw a TikTok yesterday where this person who was trans, who was obviously born a male, but was a trans person. And the TikTok was simply, if you don't date a trans person, that's transphobic. I'm like, no, you got a dick, dude. You know,
It's not just that too. Your personality is probably really toxic if that's how you feel about it. And that is actually how I think. Like if you think that the only reason somebody doesn't like you is because you're trans, I hate to break it to you, trans was not the reason they said no. It wasn't. It was everything else that you were doing.
It's the penis. Hello. There's really no. I don't want to get too on the nose, sort of say about this, but if a trans person still has a penis, that's a male. I'm a male. That's not. That's two tabs. There's no slot. You know, tab A goes in slot B. That doesn't. They just bump into each other. They don't actually. There's no penetration. And he said, well. I call me he. I'm transphobic, so I can do that. I said, and he said, then you should be willing. Then he pointed out that there are some women who can't have babies. He said, if the reason you want to is because they have a vagina, then you should be able to date women who who can't have babies. And I was like, yeah, that's fine. I'd be happy to date a woman who doesn't have who can't have babies. That still has the important part that I'm looking for. And actually, you can't have babies. That's a plus in my book. You know, I don't want to have kids. So, but I was still transphobic.
On the opposite end, you'd be yelled at for not wanting to date a lady who has babies. So, you know, shit.
Well, the other point I'm trying to make, and this is kind of the one to some of the guys that I'm misgendering people when I say that. I should be saying women. But one of the things that they like, that's kind of a red flag to me as a woman when somebody's trying to pick me up is if the reason I'm not responding well to you, you make that an excuse for why I don't want to date you. That's kind of a red flag.
Sure.
You know, because that's usually not the reason. Like a lot of times that's usually grasping at straws. You're straw manning me. It's also a little bit of a gaslight. And it's just one of those things where when you're picking a partner, and you're not sure on the psychology of the person that you're talking to, a lot of women and a lot of men have a history of knowing what abusers are like. And those are red flags.
Yeah.
They kind of are.
What annoys me, I think, most is what bothers me most about this, besides outright sex, is I have a hard time with a trans person's voice. When you talk about a man going to be a woman, because for me, a trans person just sounds like a gay man. So that immediately turns me off because I'm not interested in gay men. You know, so as soon as they start talking, I'm like, yeah, you sound like a gay guy. You know, that's immediately a no. I mean, you see people like Blair.
Would you flirt it up with Blair White though?
Yeah, that was the point I was about to make. Is that then there's Blair. And she sounds pretty close to female to me.
Oh, she would run circles around me, and I am a female.
Yeah, she sounds pretty female to me. So now knowing that she is still biologically male, I would say no. But not knowing who she was and just meeting her on the street, I'd be, yeah, absolutely. She sounds like a woman. She looks like a woman. She 100% passes for a woman. So yeah, I mean, until proven otherwise, I would assume, maybe to my chagrin, that yeah, she was female. But Blair's not a trap either. Blair's going to be upfront about it. So anyway.
Yeah, that's just it. Like that's kind of where I'm at. Like I do like a lot of people from the trans community. Like I adore Blair White's videos. I think she's gorgeous. I'd take tips from. I actually probably could take tips from her, to be honest. But you know, at the same time, though, I see stuff like the part of the trans community that is attacking J.K. Rowling, and it's like I said, a lot of those people come across as predators, and I don't think they understand that. That's why a lot of women pull back. That's why a lot of women are like, no, I actually don't want you in the bathroom with me anymore. You know, I still want to support you. I still want to support you being treated like you should be, because everyone should be treated with kindness and respect and at least enough decency to understand that we're going through things, you know, in our own lives. But the minute you start using manipulation tactics with me, I kind of throw you in the boat where I put all the other crazy people who are narcissists, psychos, and other weird shit, because that's a different disorder. I don't even know if that's a disorder. Is that a disorder?
Today, anything is a disorder, it seems.
You know, I know. I don't know anymore. I'm not a psychologist. I just know when somebody is probably not a good person to have in my life. You know, and I think this is the thing a lot of people don't understand. People only really have so much energy and time in their life. And I'd rather spend that on people that make me feel happy and good. So if you're like, I'm going to treat you like trash, and then I'm going to excuse the reason for why I'm treating you like trash on my disorder, you're going to get a lot less friends.
Yeah. All right. Well, 10:41.
Yeah.
You want to move along?
Yeah, you're taking care of me. It's good.
All right, guys. Well, I guess we're
Hopefully we didn't get in trouble. I'm sorry, YouTube. I love trans people. I love you. She's gorgeous. If she ever gets married to Kayla, I want to invite, because those two are awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Blair White is beautiful. I could take tips from her.
Yeah, I think we all like Blair. Let me go ahead and say goodnight to the chat then. Thanks, chat, for putting up with us tonight and keeping us engaged. If you're looking for more of the Zoo, our Discord is linked in the description down below, and we're live every evening with most shows starting 11:30 p.m. Eastern, 7 days a week. Quiz on Monday, Skep on Tuesday, the Wednesday show, of course, every Wednesday at 9 p.m. Johnny Hellcat tomorrow, Thursday, 11:30. Sanguine this Friday. Harry Channel starting off the weekend on Saturday, and Delahazed hosting on Sundays, at least for a time period. We'll be back next Wednesday at 9 p.m. as usual. I hope you guys enjoyed the show, and we'll see you again next week. Have a great night, everyone.
Thanks for joining us, Mr. Adam.
Huh?
Thanks for joining us. You were a guest.
Oh, yeah. Can I give a little quick little ditty? I didn't get a chance to do it last Friday. Hey, thanks for inviting me as a guest. I very much appreciate it. I had a really good time chatting with you all. Terry, dude, I love chatting with you. We got to chat more. But you know what? I love you all. And this goes for the panel and the audience. And God bless.
All right. Have a good night, everyone. Say good night.
Good night.